welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about.
Hey, Ma, we're back. Summer vacation is over.
Fuck you guys, I'm gonna start my own podcast.
Oh, really? This should be interesting. What are you going to call it?
Fuck you and fuck the revival.
Oh, Mom.
It's time for another wrestling podcast.
Don't adjust your stereo, your headphones, or whatever you're listening to right now. Another wrestling podcast is back. We're back, guys. This is
Back.
we're back. We took a little summer vacation. We're enjoying the sun, going to the beach, all that fun stuff. But we're coming back in 2 years, guys. This is it. This is our little bit of a return. You know me as Credo.
Naturally, I'm Angry Cooter.
I'm that guy they call Minority Mike.
Guys, we had a nice little break, a much needed break. We took over the podcast world. We had guests every week. Time to tone that down. I feel like we conquered that realm of the podcast universe. If you're listening to us for the first time and you don't know anything about us, just head on over to anotherwrestlingpodcast.com. You'll find all the old shows, everything you need to about us. But it's a new era. It's almost like we're 2.0 now or something, version 2.0. What are we? I don't know.
Well, Credo, let me just explain this to you. You do have to make amends with my mother.
Oh,
she's a little pissed off at you, bro.
What did I do?
Well, I mean, this break was naturally your idea, and she was just getting hot, man. She was feeling it. She was in the groove. She was in the mix, and then you just like chopped the head off of a snake, bro.
Oh, she hit the stardom and she didn't want to break. We'll have to see what we could do with that. But I mean, hey, you gotta relax. You gotta catch up with yourself. But guys, we missed a lot of things. Like at one point it was like, not much is changing. Not much is changing. The week we stop is like everything's just started happening again. I'm like, of course,
Oh yeah.
It's like, of course.
Everything just started going crazy when we stopped. Great Balls of Fire, the main event was great. The card was actually better than the name of the card.
I know, we
Great
spent
Balls of
weeks
Fire.
making fun of that fucking name, and then bam, I'm like, yeah, that's probably like the best pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then there's a lot of other great shit that happened over the summer. The G1 Classic was great. SummerSlam, not so great, but the main event was great. NXT Brooklyn was amazing. I mean, so much shit happened, and we took a break.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're coming off the coattails, if you will, of SummerSlam and NXT Takeover 3 down in Brooklyn. Let's get right into that, guys. What are some of the things that stood out for you? I mean, what happened? I mean, let's start with NXT, I guess, at least. That was happening on Saturday night, Takeover 3. What did you guys take away from Takeover?
I love that whole card, especially that first match, which I missed. And Mike, you're the one who called me up like, you need to watch this match. Gargano and Andrade Cien Almas. Yes, I will say his name correctly because this motherfucker deserves it now. But what I really think about this guy is, honestly, even though he's been losing day in and day out up until, this matchup, he really never has a bad match. He always performs on like a top level. Guy is gonna be a star if they push him properly. I really think he could be one of the. I don't want to say like a main eventer, but like a top mid carder on a main roster down the road.
Rosita, or I forget her name now, but she definitely adds to him. I mean, he's the guy that kind of needs that valet with him. I mean, it's helping him at least, right?
What's her name? Selena. Fuck.
It's definitely a better name than Rosita.
Vega.
Selena Vega. There you go. Very good.
Definitely a better name than Rosita.
That NXT card was amazing from top to bottom. I mean, you brought up the Gargano and Cien Almas match. That match was fantastic. I'm not a big fan of distraction finishes. However, even though Ciampa is out right now, they still made it sit in the back of your mind that he's still relevant in the mind of Johnny Gargano because they used a DIY shirt as a distraction for the finish, where Selena Vega threw a DIY shirt at Gargano causing the distraction finish. I thought that was brilliant because it still reminds us as fans that we're going to get that match later on down the road, that we can't wait. And then after that, I mean, I thought every single match delivered. The tag team match was great, even though Authors of Pain came out looking like Ninja Turtles.
Let me explain something to you, Mike, real quick. My boo, Nikki Cross, star of the night, putting herself on the line. She took a massive dive and then a massive bump. Oh, my God, that bitch is fearless. I love her. Marry me.
She got sandwiched.
That was a bit of a surprise, though. I didn't think Sanity was going to win that. I mean, I thought they would have had it a little bit different, but it's almost like they're going to do like a Freebird rule, if you will, right, with those?
I think it would be awesome for them to do a Freebird rules. I mean, they would have to.
Yeah.
I think so.
Was that match no DQ?
No, but the ref just let him go crazy.
Yeah.
Because I was like, wait a minute, they're doing bumps through tables, and I didn't realize that EY was in the match because I literally turned it on like right towards the finish, and I'm like, the fuck is Young doing in the ring?
Well, EY originally wasn't in the match because he didn't start the match. I keep forgetting one guy who's that guy with the hairy back.
Killian Dane.
Killian Dane, that's what it was. Killian Dane didn't even get a chance to tag in. He was on the rope, and before he could tag in, EY jumped up and just told him something or said something, and then Killian Dane jumped down, and EY took the tag. So EY just inserted himself in there.
Yeah. It was, I mean, all the matches were great. Like, I'm looking at all the matches, nothing in there was like, oh, this was a little stinker or whatever. But, I mean, Aleister Black versus Hideo Itami. Yes, wow. Hideo lost, but still he came out looking good. Both of those guys put on an incredible match. No complaints from me. I mean, without running down the whole card, but still, I mean, every match was great, right?
There's been nothing but greatness coming out of NXT. And as great as the Black versus Itami match was, I think there was a match like 2 weeks ago between Black and Kyle O'Reilly that I thought was even better. I mean, there's just new talent coming in, and even on just like your basic televised shows. I mean, they're giving you a quality product, and that's probably been my favorite show of the summer.
You know, it's almost like we said they're in the rebuilding phase, but that rebuilding phase is definitely took a fast forward approach to, getting back to where they were when they lost all those guys beforehand. And I mean, they rebuilt that roster down in NXT quite fast, to where I thought there was almost lingering a little bit with some things, to where it was like, well, we kind of lost all that star power. But now, granted, Bobby Roode moved up. You got Drew McIntyre, the new NXT champion. Now you got Adam Cole in the mix. There's a lot of things happening, but another surprising thing is that Ember Moon didn't beat Asuka. And then even after all that, Asuka gets injured, and I don't think they even said the extent to how long she'll be out, if she'll drop the title. Well, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Because I know there's a lot more injuries we could talk about, but even just that women's match, I thought Ember Moon would have had it at this match. I mean, I'm sick of the streak. I'm over her, whatever it is.
I'm not. I love Asuka. She always delivers. We said this months ago. I have not connected with that Ember Moon character. I'm not feeling it. I don't. There's something about her I just don't like, and I think part of it is her finisher. I think it's a terrible finisher. It looks cool, but she ends up hurting everybody she uses it on.
But do you feel like I feel like the win should have went to her only because I feel like they haven't been building any of the women down there. I feel like they need to spread that championship wealth around a little bit just to have a nice base of like top contenders down there. I don't know. I feel like her holding on to the women's championship so long, it's like, is it A, we don't know what to do with you on the main roster, or B, we don't know what to do with all the girls down there on the NXT roster, or I don't know. It was one of those things.
Two things you could say about that. I think that in terms of Asuka, I think it's her English that's holding her back, one. And two, when you say they're not rebuilding that women's division, we got a 32 women tournament coming up, and I think you have more than enough women to there's some talented ladies in that tournament. Really, I have not watched it yet. I know it came out on Monday. I really want to check this out. I just haven't had the time, man.
But just the brackets are out. Yeah, it starts next week. Next week it's going to be.
It is next week. Okay, yep. I thought it was this week.
Yeah, the 28th. The extent of Asuka's injury, they're talking about 6 to 8 weeks she's going to be out. Now, just like Cooter said with Amber Moon, I think she's an amazing talent in the ring. I'm just not connecting with her as a fan, as a character. Character fan connection is not working with me and her. But I think she's amazing ring. I thought that match was incredible. It was great storytelling that happened in that ring. Asuka came out on top. I am okay with the Asuka win, and I think the WWE is definitely okay. The reason why they see this undefeated streak and they see dollar signs, they could market the hell out of this undefeated streak. The injury, I don't know if it's kayfabe. I don't know if it's real. I don't know what they're doing with this. If this is a way to get that belt off of Asuka without her losing, to bring her up to the main roster, that could be a ploy right there. Or maybe it's a legit injury. I don't know. But I see the WWE seeing this streak, and they're like, you just beat Goldberg. Let's see if we can market the hell out of this. We bring her to the main roster. There's going to be more eyes on her because of this undefeated streak. They could hype her in and bring her in as like a big deal to the women's division.
I'm going to agree with you, Mike, because I feel that the timing is a little strange. Right before this women's tournament, what's to say, let's vacate that title because she's injured, and the winner of that tournament will be the new women's NXT champion. Why not? I mean, it's not a bad idea, and it protects Asuka's streak at the same time.
But I think giving that championship to those girls, it's kind of like a slap in the face maybe to all the girls who have been on that roster for a couple of years now. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, and that's a great idea. I think that person should win a women's championship, but I wonder if they're almost pissed off to where if that was a legit injury, if they were saving Asuka to go against the winner of the Mae Young Classic in a match, and then maybe the Mae Young winner would have won that championship there. But I don't know. There's so many options. But yeah,
I was thinking the same thing. How Triple H, he's going to make that tournament final mean something. Maybe it might be for the number one contender spot at the next Takeover, and that the winner of that tournament gets to wrestle Asuka, whoever the champion may be. Who knows? Maybe Asuka might not be ready to go. Maybe she's going on up to the main roster, so they might just have her. And I could see them throwing Amber Moon in there because Amber Moon was the last contender for the belt, and the winner of that match is the women's champion. It's all up in the air. Is this kayfabe? Is it not? But like I said before, I think it's the WWE. They see dollar signs in Asuka because of that streak, and they could do some big things with it on the main roster.
Guys, moving right along to two, Drew McIntyre defeats Bobby Roode. I think it was long overdue. Bobby Roode moving on up to the main roster. He doesn't really need to stay down in NXT anymore, especially with the names coming in like Adam Cole and whatnot. Guys, though, I think is it about due time for Drew McIntyre to win a world championship in WWE?
I could see him taking Big Cass's spot in the main roster now that he's injured as well, because I think Big Cass makes fucking Roman Reigns look like Shakespeare when he's cutting the promo. He's fucking terrible. and you talk all this shit about Enzo, how he's annoying, this and that, he can't work, and blah 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 blah. Dude, you can't talk. You got the marbles in your mouth.
How about this? Are we living in Bizarro land where 3MB is taking over the world one by one?
My God, it's crazy.
We got Jinder Mahal, WWE champion, Drew McIntyre, NXT champion.
Heath Slater's got kids, motherfucker.
I was gonna say, has anybody seen Heath Slater in the gym lately? I don't know.
He's gonna win that WWE Universal title. He's gonna be the man that beat Lesnar.
It goes to show, though, anything can happen. If you go back a few years ago, nobody would have predicted two of those guys would be where they are today, and it's awesome. I think it's a great marketing thing. Be like, hey, it doesn't matter what kind of gimmick you're stuck with, because anything can truly happen if they put the right thing behind you, right? The little machine behind you to push you. NXT was great. I think hands down everybody enjoyed it across the board. But SummerSlam, Summerfest, whatever you want to call it, 6 hours of matches, guys. Granted, I love a long WrestleMania. I love to see everybody get something done, but man, it's almost like everybody gets a trophy. It's does everybody need a match at SummerSlam or whatnot? Can it just be the best people, the most over people having matches, and not like? Let's start off with the pre-show where the Miz and his Miztourage were fighting Jason Jordan and the Hardys in a dark. It would seem like an empty arena match because they started it as they were letting the fans in the arena. And some of those pictures online, man, how horrible was that? It's like you couldn't wait 15 minutes, a half hour. like literally 5 o'clock happened, and then they had to start that match, and wow, it just looked embarrassing. Like I couldn't imagine being a superstar wrestling with nobody in the building yet. Like they must have been so pissed off with that.
I didn't even watch it. I didn't watch the whole. It was the first time on a Big Four that I didn't watch the pre-show. I could care less because, again, it's like you said, it's the participation trophy. A lot of these stories, they were just matches that were thrown together because the Hardys were supposed to go against the Revival and Jason Jordan and Miz. I mean, it's just poor timing. Nothing developed fast enough to develop a decent program where the fans would be intrigued by the storyline. Blah, 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 blah. It was just let's throw shit against the wall and see if it sticks. Sorry, Mike, I stole your fucking phrase. But, yeah, I mean, other than that, even the rest of the main card was good, not great. That main event, though, boys. Woo! Can we talk about that main event, please?
Yeah, let's go right to the main part of it. I mean, yeah, that was like nonstop train wreck, right? It was just in a good way. I mean, it was just nonstop violence. Fuck, you couldn't even keep track of what was going on. It was just nonstop demolition. I loved it. That's what you needed out of this main event, and they definitely delivered to us.
I thought the main event was amazing. The card, however, sucked. Call it Summer Fest, what Jeremy Piven called it. Might as well call it that. If you take the Usos tag match, okay, take that Uso tag match from the pre-show, which was amazing.
Yes.
You take what other matches were on there. I thought the tag title match was great with Ambrose, Rollins, and Sheamus and Cesaro. I thought that was a great match. And you take the main event and give me those three matches, I'd be completely fine. It'd be great. But it was just... You
had an issue with Styles and Owens?
Styles and Owens was good. It was good. I take that back. That's one match that I actually forgot to mention. I thought it was great. I liked the addition of Shane. Listen, is it weird to me that out of all of the two guys that are actually wrestling in the ring, the referee's sweating more than the actual athletes?
Gotta keep up with that cardio, man.
Motherfuckers having flashbacks of the helicopter crash.
He blew up in that ring, man. He was freaking gassing.
Now, I know every match isn't going to live up to some of the great matches they had. Some are fillers, but man, who did Rusev piss off because a 10-second squash match? It's like, man, this guy was facing Cena a few years ago, and it's just like they don't want to use him anymore. He has a great character. He's good in the ring. Man, someone just hates him. I don't know. And you have what's funny is at this SummerSlam, he's like you have Randy Orton winning, you have John Cena winning. It's just like guys that don't really need the wins right now. I guess at least against the guys they're facing, and it's like, man, especially that John Cena Baron Corbin match. Man, not only did Baron Corbin lose his Money in the Bank a week before, but now he loses to Cena, and then next week he's reffing a match. It's like.
I still don't know what the fuck he did. Somebody explain this to me.
Rusev?
Corbin. No, Corbin.
Oh, sorry. Corbin. All right, so this is what happened with Corbin. I got the rundown on dirt sheets, the most reliable sources on the internet, guys.
It's fact. If it's on the internet.
So apparently, what did Ryan Clark have to say about this?
So apparently he got in a Twitter war with a lot of people. One of them being Dave Meltzer. But there's a couple other people, and like he really was just a complete asshole and a dick on Twitter and just saying all this crazy stuff. And then one of them happened to be like a disabled veteran,
boy.
Which he later on deleted the tweets apparently. So I guess John Cena ripped him a new one backstage, and Corbin apparently had an attitude problem with that. So what happens then? They took away his Money in the Bank briefcase because he kind of got in a little argument with the Golden Goose. And then what happens next? Hey, we're going to put you in a match with that Golden Goose. And
that Golden shovel.
Before we take away your briefcase, we're going to take away your theme song. We're going to give you this load of shit.
A new entrance too. Yep, man.
Which the theme song is horrible. Horrible. I think it's horrible. I thought his original theme song was amazing. And then they put him in a match against John Cena, which John Cena's beat the shit out of him. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, but during the match, John Cena was being a dick. He was saying some stuff. Go back and watch it. Watch it probably like about 5 minutes into the match, he'll go outside the ring and he'll say stuff to JBL, saying like literally talking shit to Corbin, and then he would go in the ring and he was talking shit again. It's like it's not even John Cena's character. It felt like that was like real life hate right there.
Wow.
He was spreading.
Yeah, I actually that might have been that was one of the first. That was the opening match, wasn't it?
Opening match of the card. You didn't miss much.
Yeah, because I turned it on. Why did I think it started at 8? I turned it on like maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes after 7, and like Cena's already walking up the ramp, and I'm like, oh boy. Somebody, I said, they got the shovel out already? Fuck.
What I like too, though, the SummerSlam had a lot of championship changes. But one thing I'm surprised with is the Cruiserweight briefly. I mean, why did they have him win it 1 week prior just to lose it at SummerSlam? And I don't know. Did they just test him out for a week to see how he would do? But how much could you be tested out in a week being on TV that long?
Not even a fucking week.
Is it?
It was like fucking 5 days.
I think Vince got bored.
That match was on what, 205? Was that on Raw or was that 205 Live?
Vince just got bored, Cooter. That's what happened. Vince just got bored and he was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then Kevin Dunn with his fucking buck teeth. Yeah, Vince. Do it, Vince. I'm gonna fucking do it. Yeah.
Between that, that championship changing, then you got the SmackDown tag titles changing, the SmackDown Women's Championship changing, which I loved. I feel like Natalya deserved that because she's just been the workhorse there. She's done a lot. She's deserved it because the last title she's held was the Divas Championship, and I mean, she needed that. I feel like she needed that, and it was a clean win, no cash in. That's got to say something. I mean, they definitely something about that. Somebody loves her. They just want to keep that on her, or what? But they definitely.
You gotta remember, she came in after what? A little bit after Beth Phoenix did. So she's been there a long time.
Yeah,
she was a women's wrestler when everybody else was a diva, and she was like 5 years ahead of her time, and man, does she deserve this.
And even like after last year, she put over Charlotte Flair like how many fucking matches? Even she went to NXT to put Charlotte Flair over, and then even on the main roster, I remember it was like Roadblock and then Mania. She lost, or whatever she did. It was just like, how many Charlotte Flair versus Natalya matches are we going to get where Natalya just loses and doesn't get the championship? And man, I was happy about that. It was a happy championship change. But there's other little things, that I was surprised with too. Is even the Jinder Mahal defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, to where out of anything being changed that night, I thought it was going to go with that, and they still have the same damn finish. I get that Jinder's a heel, but come on, man. How many times are we going to use the Singh brothers to do this interference?
Finishes.
And, man, they're milking that one, I guess.
Distraction finishes, man. That's the WWE's go-to, man. If they don't know how to finish the match, they're going to throw out a distraction finish. They do it all the time. Listen, that match, I knew Jinder was going to win. I didn't think they were going to put it on Shinsuke Nakamura anytime soon. I don't think it's time. Listen, I love Shinsuke. I think he's amazing in the ring. I just don't think it's time for him yet. I think any kind of milk that he's chasing. I feel like, and maybe a lot of people might disagree, and that's fine. It's arguable, but I think you might get a little more invested if he's chasing rather than he just gets it right away.
Oh yeah,
that's just my opinion, and I think he's gonna get that title eventually. I just didn't think it was time yet, and plus, I mean, the WWE are writing his promos, which is horrible, absolutely horrible. They need to just let him, the oddest. And then he sang the other day on SmackDown before the Go Home Show on SmackDown. It was bad.
Oh, boy. Let me say this, because I agree with you. I think Nakamura needs to chase. And what surprises me about the whole thing is the fact that these two had actually really good chemistry in the ring together. I did not expect that good of a match back and forth. For somebody Jinder, who everybody's like, oh, they're putting the belt on him because of his looks and his race, he's really also become a better worker through all this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think putting the belt on him has given him, confidence, not just in his look, but in his craft. And it shows in his work now. Promos, especially his promos. I am now going to talk to my people in my language of Punjabi. And I'm like, I can't get enough of this dude. I think he's hilarious.
They definitely have built him up incredibly, like to where that program with Randy Orton, all the wins he's had over him. Yes, there were some whatever shady finishes, but still, he beat Randy Orton. Even had a match with Cena. Now Shinsuke's under his belt. Like they've definitely built him up to where if you look at him on paper now, he's a credible champion. It's not just that one little whim. He's just won it and that's it, just for whatever reason. So definitely doing.
And not to mention, they want to keep that belt on him for September because they're going to India. They got a tour in India in September.
There you go.
So he'll probably have that belt in October. He'll probably drop the belt.
Yeah. Other little surprises too. Sasha Banks has become a 4-time, 5-time champion already within a year. I mean, remember with her going back and forth with Flair, like she won and then she won and then she won. I just find it funny that she's like, am I right? Is a 4-time champion now with almost like within a year or something like that, or it's back and forth. A lot of title changes for SummerSlam. I mean. Granted, this isn't the Night of Champions or WrestleMania. It's one of the biggest shows of the year, but still a lot of title changes on this card. I mean, that's what I was surprised with, just how many title changes there were, I guess.
Here's something that surprises me about the Raw Women's Division. On paper, it looks amazing. On TV, it's complete trash. It's been trash.
That's creative, which sucks.
Yeah, and like to the point where you have this great babyface of Bayley, and you've killed her. You've killed any momentum. The fans hate her now.
I was gonna say, what's all
most
the fans
of the fans
her?
hate Sasha Banks at this point.
Yeah,
like every fucking internet troll. This is why I stay out of the groups and the chats and all this bullshit, because it's like I have an opinion of Sasha. I think she's a great worker. I think she needs to turn heel. They've tried to keep her a face long. You know what I'm saying? Like they need to shake up. Not just the roster, but some of these characters need a little bit of tweaking.
Talk about how they killed Bayley.
They've done that so great. They've swapped rosters and they've changed up characters a lot. And it's a breath of fresh air over there.
Yeah.
You talked about how they killed Bayley. You know who else they killed? They killed Emma.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They took her out back like she was Old Yeller. And just put the gun in the back of her head and just pulled the creative trigger on her, man.
Listen, can we not talk about dogs right now?
You got a story to tell?
Inside joke, guys. Inside joke.
Well, guys, SummerSlam NXT, I mean, that was a little bit of a recap, if you will. A lot of stuff happened.
Wait. You were forgetting the most important fucking thing. We started talking about the main event, but we didn't talk about how much of a fucking beast Braun Strowman is.
Yeah, man. I'm happy. I was happy with the result. I was happy Brock kept the championship. It's fine. Granted, I was 50-50. Like 50% I'm happy that he won it. The other 50 I'm like, man, Raw really needs that Universal Championship on TV, because how many number one contender matches can we deal with for like a month until the next pay-per-view? But yeah, man. Out of anybody shining strong that night, Braun Strowman, man, just showed why he's a main event player. Just what he can do. You know what I mean?
Unbelievable. I mean, I thought this match was going to suck. 4 big men, and I'm like, oh God, it's going to be like a Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, a real shit show. But these guys just, oh my God. Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe was no slouch in that match. And listen, I'm going to give Roman Reigns credit. He's the leader of the locker room, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Dude took the pin clean in the ring. I'll give him his credit. I don't like him, but you know what? I think he's embracing his role, and I think he's doing it properly. Could you imagine? John Cena would not have done that in his position when he was at the peak of his career the way Roman is now.
You said Braun is just a monster. Samoa Joe was great in that match. Brock was great in that match. I mean, Braun and the chair throwing, that just became a staple of his now.
Love that.
He makes that look so cool. Even though, like, granted, they're getting hit with the seat of it, which is the most cushioned part, but it still looks so cool.
I thought we banned chair shots.
Not soft chair shots that you could throw 30 feet across the room.
There's one thing I want to say. Could you imagine? I mean, Cole has not been as annoying to me as of late as he usually is. I mean, I kind of hate it when he shits on Booker T. But could you imagine Jim Ross calling that match or Mauro Ranallo calling that match?
Yeah.
Mamma mia! Or some shit. Oh, my God.
Yep. And you give it up for Brock, too. I mean, for his character, how he's built up to be, this beast, he sure did put over those guys in that match. Just, because he could come in there cocky, especially at his age. He's done it all, kind of a thing. I don't know his mindset or how he is as a performer or whatnot, but he definitely made those guys look good in the ring as they made him look good in the ring. So hats off to the champion on that one too, for everybody making each other that night.
Dude, not only does he work a part-time schedule, but this is like the second or third time where he's worked a part-time match. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Dude, he's the only person I know who gets a break in like the middle of matches. Like, remember the triple threat with Cena and fucking Seth Rollins? He was out because of the elbow drop on the table. And he comes out of nowhere. He comes out of nowhere in this match. And then WrestleMania, him against Roman, he got the nice break because Rollins had to have his entrance. It's like, dude gets a part-time in a match. He's such a fucking beast.
I tell you, man, and he recovers so quickly from those beatings. It's the PEDs, man. When those PEDs start kicking in, it's like when Popeye takes that spinach and just turns into a madman. When we're not looking, he's got that needle. Pokes himself.
We talk about Brock Lesnar, and there was the big to-do when Johnny Bones Jones won the light heavyweight title for UFC, and he calls out Brock Lesnar, and everyone said, where Heyman said, if Brock loses this belt, he is leaving WWE. And everyone's like, oh, man, is he going to fight Johnny Bones? Johnny Bones is just tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs for the second time now, facing a possible 4-year ban from the sport, which takes any chance of this match ever happening. Not to mention if Lesnar was to even want to be in active competition again, I think he still has 6 months left on a suspension because he retired, Mike, right?
Yes, his suspension will probably be up by November.
Did they say what he got caught with? I mean, compared to what Lesnar had, was it the same thing or no?
No, Lesnar got popped for estrogen blockers, which is something you have to take. It's mandatory if you're on a steroid cycle, because when you introduce testosterone into your body other than the natural testosterone, it obviously raises your testosterone levels. Therefore, your estrogen levels raises as well. But when you stop taking the testosterone, your estrogen levels are still sky high. And so you need an estrogen blocker to bring it back down. Or else you're going to have man tits and you're going to be like Kevin Nash in The Longest Yard. Pretty much. We all see Brock being feminine.
Well, you guys said okay, you're not going to see him in the UFC, but do you think Vince might see dollar signs bringing him in to fight him in the WWE?
I was just about to go there, guys.
No way.
The ball.
Better than that.
No, listen to this. The ball right now is in WWE's court. And this is why. Okay. Now, John Bones Jones is most likely going to serve a 4-year ban because they busted him for a legit substance. Now, they have an argument. They can go and say it was a tainted supplement. We took a tainted supplement. But with John,
I don't know, man.
With John Jones' history and his background of tainted supplements, the one wasn't a tainted supplement. This they can say we took a creatine and it was tainted because someone else pulled that off and actually won in front of a Nevada State Athletic Commission. John Jones is not going to win when he goes to trial. Let's just face it. Therefore, he's going to save a 4-year ban. However, the way it works, everyone was fearing a couple years ago when Lesnar went off to fight Mark Hunt because if he suffered an athletic ban, an injury ban, he would be banned permanently from even competing at SummerSlam last year. Now, John Jones, he's suffering a 4-year ban, but he can compete elsewhere except for mixed martial arts. Therefore, Vince wants to make this money fight happen. He can bring John Jones over to the WWE, and that not only will bring John Jones over and bring money over, but that will bring your casual MMA fans over to see what the fuck is going on in this realm. You could have that match happen. You got Ronda Rousey who's training right now. You got Shayna Baszler who's in the Mae Young Classic. MMA fighters are coming over to professional wrestling. Stephan Bonner just debuted this past weekend for House of Glory.
Oh, wow.
He's now a professional wrestler. You have Filthy Tommy Lawler, who's actually professional. Tommy Lawler is actually in the midst of a 2-year ban right now for getting popped for steroids. He's competing right now in the indie scene.
It's a good.
Then you got Matt Riddle.
Yeah, it's a good platform though for these guys because yes, we know what pro wrestling is, but still, it's the perfect spotlight for them to make a name, for people to know who they are, and just get a fan base around them and start making that money on merch and whatever else they need. So I don't blame them.
This is nothing new. I mean, Sakura, what the hell was his name? Did I say it right? Sakura? The Japanese guy? He used to do the shoot wrestling. Sakuraba? Yeah, Sakuraba. That's right. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ, he used to do the shoot wrestling. Who's your boy who wrestles barefoot? He wants to act like he's Kevin Von Erich.
Matt Riddle.
Matt Riddle, there you go.
Was one of the biggest draws right now.
Exactly. Let me put it to you this way, though. This ain't happening. Johnny Jones will never be in WWE.
Never say never.
He's gonna need a job, man, because he ain't gonna have nothing.
Matter. It's not because he's not gonna want to do it. I don't think Vince is dumb enough to touch him. I
kind of disagree.
But Lesnar was caught last year, and he still works for Vince.
GED busts. He got busted for cocaine. This is not something you want to put on a product.
What about when Vince brought in Tyson?
Huh?
What about Vince brought in a rapist, Tyson?
Yeah.
Listen, that was a different era. That was an attitude era. This is a completely thing. It's not rated.
Oh, I understand that. But once everything cools down and everybody forgets about it,
yeah, right.
I could see John Jones getting signed by the WWE because Vince, all they care about is money. They don't give a fuck about anything else. They want the money, and it's going to draw. They're going to bring it in. I mean, you got Lesnar, who got popped for steroids last year, and everybody knew about it, and they still let this guy make all the money he's making now. And then one of the things now, and I'm going to go back real quick. So one thing I want to say too is the ball's in WWE's court now, and the reason why is because the only reason why this big hype for SummerSlam, one of the reasons for this match is because Lesnar was threatening to leave because of the rumors going on. That ball was in Lesnar's court because Lesnar would be like, hey, I got this super fight coming up. My contract's running up after WrestleMania. What are you going to do for me? Now
that's off the table, baby.
That's off the table. So now the ball's in WWE's courts. What potential matchups are out there for Lesnar? There's nothing out there.
No.
Stipe would kill Lesnar in a matter of seconds. There's nobody out there for Lesnar to fight that's going to draw attention. I mean, granted, drawing attention, Lesnar can draw, but there's no mega super fights. So they're not going to give him the money that he's going to demand for.
You know what's sad is that there's probably better fights for Brock Lesnar in Bellator than there is in UFC.
Oh yeah,
well,
him and Fedor would be a dream match.
A dream match that would draw.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, guys, I think money talks, and
bullshit walks.
We're gonna have to see. I'm telling you, he's gonna have to take advantage of that if he's definitely gonna be out for that long. So we'll see if Vince wants to open up the pocketbook. But guys, we've been off for a few months now. A lot of things have happened. I want to get some of your opinions on some of these little things that have happened while we were away. We had some call-ups. Nakamura made it to the main roster on SmackDown. Has he been used right? I mean, I hate this nickname, the Artist. I don't think he needs it. Just call him Shinsuke Nakamura. That alone is all you need. Like, does he need this little gimmick they're trying to give him with this Artist? Like, I don't know the creative team if they just don't understand him or get him or understand where he's from, or I don't know what. Like, they feel like everybody needs like this stupid thing attached to him. Like, Shinsuke Nakamura or just Nakamura is fine with me. I don't know. I mean, they haven't buried him. He's been doing good. I mean, he's got a main spot on SmackDown, but has his call-up to SmackDown been good? Should it have been Raw? I don't know. What do you guys think about Nakamura since his NXT days?
I think you like to nitpick.
I do.
There's just little things. No, but that's cool. I mean, like you analyze things with a little bit more of a finer tooth comb than most people that I know in terms of wrestling. I mean, you worry about the small things, which, but in the bigger picture, those little small things, I think, are what draw them money. It's what sells them merchandise. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's still a business. we already know he's going to always perform at a top level, but we need something for him. We need to sell that Nakamura jacket on WWEshop.com.
I saw, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can even buy that AJ Styles, hooded vest on WWEshop.com. Motherfuckers better start giving me royalties for dropping that shit. But that being said, but those are the things. Like, I know you hate that, but that's what makes them their money. So you can't pay Nakamura the money you're probably paying him and not get something back on your investment.
But why not just Nakamura on a shirt? Why, or like, why can't we just give him the nickname Naka? I don't know, but it has to be the artist.
Would you buy a Bobby Roode T-shirt if he wasn't glorious?
Oh well, that's
with that
different.
theme song.
That's a little bit different.
It's the exact same thing.
You working for creative or something, man? Because you just want to cut down people's names. Now Elias Sampson is just Elias.
That's it. We got to talk about all the name changes too.
Antonio Cesaro is now just Cesaro. Adrian Neville is
He is hankling for a job. You fucking Mark. I knew it.
Listen, since Nakamura came up around WrestleMania time, and since he's come up, I mean, they did a great job utilizing him where he wasn't on TV as much. He came out, had a great introduction. He had a dark match with Ziggler, which people were talking about a lot. He wasn't on TV as much. Had a shit match at Backlash against Ziggler. Then had a great TV match. I think the way they need to not give him the microphone and not write his promos. Just let him go out there and just be brief on the mic, and that's it. That's all we need from Nakamura. And he doesn't have to be on TV all the time. The one thing I love about NXT, you don't see your favorite superstar every week. They have like promo videos and other stuff like that, but you don't see them every week.
True.
When it comes to Raw and SmackDown, we see these guys every week. And I understand what they're doing. People pay to see these people. But at the same time, like, I don't want to get sick and tired of a guy like Nakamura because I like Nakamura. Don't ram him down my throat.
Well, another call-up most recently is Bobby Roode, glorious. It was his time. That was kind of a surprise in a way that it was the same weekend, I guess, if you will. But, I mean, he did what he did down there, which is great. I mean, honestly, Bobby Roode coming to the WWE has probably made more of a name for himself down in NXT than he ever did over in TNA, to where it's like looking at parallel universes and like, bizarro land to what's happening now. And it's amazing how just a little bit of creative of, okay, we're going to give you this glorious thing or whatever, how it just redefined his character for the rest of his life, if you will. Who would have thought, him coming in, this would have happened for him. And, he's turned his whole self around, like a 360 of who he was to what he is now. And, making that main roster debut, I think it's about time. And I don't know. I think it's well deserved. He didn't spend years down in NXT, but still, he was down there just about under a year, right? Just
yeah,
about a year.
pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these guys, I mean, they get over in NXT quickly. They get what they need from NXT quickly. Some guys just need a little bit of a polish, a little bit of a gimmick, and boom, they take off. I mean, somebody like Samoa Joe, who spent a little bit more time down there, but look at what he's doing. The character they have him on Raw, is just amazing. You don't see the guy who just, when his music hits, you know that there's a bad motherfucker coming down, and he's not one of these like whiny heels who runs. Like, he's there to talk shit, fuck your bitch, and kick your ass. Like, that's Samoa Joe. And Bobby Roode didn't need that amount of polish that Joe needed, because Joe was always a great worker. It's just the character and that persona that he needed. Bobby took that shit on right away, and good for him. It's well deserved, man, because he got over faster, I think, on that roster than anybody else did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read on the interweb, we're the most reliable source in the world.
WWW.
He's going to be doing.
Was it Meltzer? Was it Clark? Or was it Russo? Or Cornette?
I don't listen to Russo. I think Russo's a piece of shit. Still has me blocked on Twitter.
Still blocked, motherfucker.
Yeah, still blocked, pussy ass motherfucker. Anyway, so, bro, come on, bro. Come on, but I can't stand it. Bro. Listen, bro. This guy, Bobby Roode, bro, he's it. He's it. I can't talk like him anymore. What I read though, he's going to be pulling double duty. He's going to be down at NXT still a little bit, but it's going to be weird because what they're doing is on NXT he's going to be a heel, and he's going to be feuding with Roderick Strong. But on the main roster, they're pushing him as a face. And that. Oh, hold on, guys. Breaking news. Asuka has relinquished the NXT's women's title and announced her intention to pursue new opportunities in the WWE.
Main roster without even putting anybody over.
What did I just say?
What did we talk about, guys? What did I say?
Just said this as the news broke. I told you that fucking tournament is going to crown that champion. Give Big Cooter the fucking booking job. Let me get creative job, Credo. Look at that shit. I saw that coming.
Hey, man, she didn't even put it. You know what's funny is that she didn't even put anybody over on her way out. Now, granted, they have the injury thing.
I got a great idea. Wait for this. Wait for this. We're going to rename Asuka Os.
Wah, wah, wah. Anyway, don't take full credit for this. Okay, this is a team effort right here. Okay, we all discussed about how this is a possible kayfabe injury, and she's going to get moved up, and all of a sudden, boom! I get the fucking alert on my phone from WWE, not Bleacher Report, not anything else.
Alert yet.
I got a WWE report alert. Normally before anything else, if like it's like serious news and injury, I get like a Bleacher Report before I get a WWE alert. WWE put it out before anybody else, so you know damn well they're protecting her to get her up to the main roster so she doesn't lose.
She must have had successful surgery, and Bill Cosby was her anesthesiologist.
She recovered that quickly. She's probably talking with John Jones about the stuff that she got.
Double zinger.
I can't believe we haven't talked about this yet. Please, let's get into this because I'm very heated about it. Jason fucking Jordan, just happy to be here. Okay, are you telling me Creative fucking took a meme they found on fucking the internet of him looking like Kurt Angle and made it into a fucking storyline about him being his son? Are you kidding me? Like, first of all, he got no reaction the past few weeks. No reaction on Raw when he came out and did that. He is horrible on the mic. He is, okay, yeah, he can wrestle, but he's a fucking Jason Jordan. Like, this is the worst storyline in forever. I hope they just kind of start forgetting about it day by day. And you know what? Chad Gable not only proved himself against AJ Styles, he proves that he's a better talker than Jason Jordan, but now he also gets Shelton Benjamin as his new tag team partner. Fucking Jason Jordan is already buried, and he had the potential of having a bigger storyline. I can't get over it. I mean, this is so horrible for them because at the end of the day, American Alpha was fucking awesome. They had a good following. They were a good team, but it's like, once again, the Creative didn't want to fucking use them. They didn't want to push them because whatever they thought happened from them in NXT, or I don't know what they thought, but I mean, you had a tag team that looked like a tag team, wrestled like a tag team, and we're going to break them up, and fucking this happens. But come on, guys. Let's talk about Jason Jordan and how hard. Does anybody love this fucking storyline? Because
my man Kurt Angle decided to go to the dark meat for a little bit.
Oh, babe. Him and Raka Khan.
Man,
Sharmella.
Shaka Khan.
No, Raka Khan from TNA.
Okay, I was thinking of Shaka Khan, the singer.
No.
Oh, that's a song. It's not a singer. Anyway. And then, yeah, he just decided these white women. Man, I need some flavor.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
The stuff that came out after with like the Family Guy memes, I thought it was fucking hilarious. My Black Dad and
Cleveland.
He fucking even took a picture of this family backstage at like was it SummerSlam?
Oh my God!
Like with his real family. Like, oh,
this is so bad, and you know this is all Vince behind.
I know it smells like it. It looks like it.
They had no idea what they were going to do.
Here now, Jason. How about this? You know who the big winner of this whole fucking thing is? It's not Jason Jordan. It's his former partner.
That's it, man. Gable.
Gable was the mouthpiece of that team. And listen, I don't want to discount Jason Jordan's athleticism. Dude is a beast. He suplexes like he's Brock Lesnar. He does have a Kurt Angle-esque look, in his style of wrestling. But let's be honest. If Chad Gable could have any partner, it should be somebody like Shelton Benjamin, who's not exactly known for his, mic skills either. He could just lay in the back and do some work and not sit there with that shit-eating grin like, hey, guys, I'm waiting for the tag. I'm just happy to be here. Smiling on TV, motherfucker.
I can see Vince in the back telling Kurt Angle, he's like, all right, this is the storyline. this is going to be Jason, he's going to be your son. And I can see Kurt, but Vince, he's black. Yeah, I know, right?
I'm saying you like chocolate. Everybody remembers the internet reports from Raka Khan.
There's all Vince written all over it. Sometimes Vince books he does the most ridiculous shit. This, throw it on that list.
But even his entrance on Raw, like after they did this and then he gave him matches on Raw, like no fucking react, not even booing. There was fucking crickets chirping, like him coming out. No happy, no crowd applause, no booing. They just don't give a shit about him. Like it's, like I said, I hope it just fades away and we all forget about this. And next year we have to be remembered about it.
I do, because let's be honest, he didn't exactly have a terrible match with Finn Balor.
No, he didn't.
A lot of times
good.
I'm watching fucking wrestling. I'm muting it because the last thing I want to hear is JBL talk. The last thing I want to hear is Michael Cole talk. I usually got some music or some shit playing in the background. Now, NXT, I could full blast. I could ignore Percy Watkins because we get the brilliant Nigel McGuinness and we get that great fucking Mauro Ranallo shit.
Welcome back, Mauro.
Oh my God. But please. I don't notice crowd reactions anymore.
I can tell you this, he's got that Rocky Maivia syndrome right now where all he's doing is smiling. And, The Rock handled himself well once he got booed and stuff like that. He turned heel. Now, I don't think Jason Jordan will have that same effect. The crowd's going to boo the shit out of him.
Yeah,
he's smiling. He's happy.
Yep.
Happy to be there. He ain't going to be happy to be there when he doesn't know what to do when the crowd's going to turn on him. He's not going to be The Rock. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't know, man. It may be possible because there are moments in the match where I notice where, when he brings the straps down and he gets all pissed off, I don't know if it was against Balor. It might have been the week prior. I don't remember.
I'm not talking about in ring though. I'm talking about promo.
Even the Miz tried to drive it out of him though too in that little segment, and they couldn't do it.
He's got a little bit of he's got those facial expressions. If that is legit and he's getting pissed off like that, he might be able to transition that into a promo. You don't know yet.
I think he needs a manager right now. Maybe we'll see a mouthpiece. Maybe
Let's give him Emma. Remember, Emma was going to bang him.
Emma's trying to dip into that chocolate.
Right, she wants that mulatto.
But the saga of Jason Jordan continues. I think I found I'll tell you what, he's probably up there with the chin that I hate so much. He's up there with. He's on that level of hate that I have. I have X-Spot heat with him.
The hatred of Jason Jordan almost as high as James Ellsworth.
Yes, it's on that level. Like
really?
It's on there. Well, we'll get into that in the weeks to come.
Do you really still hate James Ellsworth?
I do. I thought that 30-day suspension was a nice send-off. Like we're not going to bring him back, and they still fucking brought him back. Let's not get into that though. That happened.
Okay.
But let's keep going because there's other things that happen. I want to bring up, guys. Injuries. A lot of things have happened over the past week. Just, Asuka just relinquished her title, but Asuka supposedly injured herself. Big Cass, who was in the midst of a push, injures himself and is probably going to be out almost 9 months now. Big Cass, man, I'll tell you what, if they didn't have fucking 20 matches against him versus Enzo, you think he would have had some more steam going on, fighting other guys here and there, but it's like, for 1 month, we had to wait to find out who, hit Enzo backstage. And it was like, I counted it. It was like 4 or 5 weeks. And then we found out that it was fucking Cass that did it himself. And it's like they really milked this feud of the breakup of Enzo and Cass. And then now, Look what happens. One day after SummerSlam, he fucking injures himself, and now he's out for 9 months. The Revival just made it back to the main roster. Boom, they get in. I forget which one got injured, but gets injured again, and who knows how long he'll be out for months again. Bailey injured. We thought it was a work, but it's real, or maybe it's still a work. They just kind of want to reinvent her character. I don't know. She's out. She's injured. It's a plague, man. It's like as soon as one goes down, there's a few to follow after that. Do you guys think this is not? I know it's not good news, but is it good news for some that these guys are injured? Is it good for their characters that they're injured to maybe get some of that off time and try to redevelop who they are? I don't know. I feel bad for the Revival out of all these injuries, though.
Well, you know what? They got a new T-shirt out.
Fuck the Revival.
No, God, no, not even
Can't
that.
say that. Can't say that.
You can't say that, bro. You're
Can't
gonna
say
get
it.
us a cease and desist now. Oh
Cease and
God,
desist.
no! It says no fists, just broken hips. Well, fuck the Revival. I'll say it.
You saved that one with that. Good job. Oh,
What?
man.
No fists, just broken hips. Fuck the Revival.
Is that a legit shirt?
No, because they're always hurt. They're breaking their hips.
Well, Scott Dawson tore his bicep. Or no, it wasn't his bicep.
I think I had his jaw locked too. I didn't have like his jaw.
No, that was the other one.
Sucking so much dick to get on the main roster.
Well,
I don't
injuries.
think this.
Injuries galore. I mean, they're all happening at once, pretty much.
Yeah.
I guess, right?
Ugh, whatever. I'm. That's the great thing about having these rosters so loaded. You don't even notice that these guys are gone. I mean, I'm like, all right, Bailey's not on TV. I don't care. Revival's not on TV. The only reason I noticed is because, the Hardys were supposed to face them at SummerSlam, and they got stuck on the pre-show with The Miz and Jason Smiley Jordan. I mean, but other than that, it's like you don't notice when people. It's kind of nice because when they come back, it's kind of a nice surprise. And now the Hardys are taking credit for putting out the Revival. Yay!
The Awoken Hardys. Come on.
Do we want to go there?
Well, let's get into some miscellaneous stuff because there's a lot of little things happening, and I know we don't have to spend hours on, but one thing right there, the Awoken Hardys. Did they really give up on Broken already? That they're kind of like testing the waters of using Awoken? I think
The one they got going for him. The best thing they got going for him was TNA is not letting that Broken gimmick go. Or I'm sorry, GFW. Excuse me. GFW is not letting that Broken gimmick go at all. They just won't.
Letting their wrestlers go.
They let the wrestlers go, but that's the only thing they're going to have later on in life. They're going to lose all the wrestlers, but they're still going to have the Broken gimmick.
And that's another thing that happened with us.
Hold on
Get
to
rid
it.
of El Patron. All right, we stripped him of the belt. And the guy who was in the main event picture, what's his name? Senshi or Loki or whatever the fuck his name is this week. He's gone. I'm like, wait a minute. So I wanted to give you guys a chance, but every time you bring somebody up and he gets a push on TV, the next week he's gone because you can't afford to pay him probably.
You know who else is gone? Bruce Pritchard is apparently gone.
Well, because Cornette fired him.
Well, yeah, but still, like they brought him on for how long? How long was he on? Like a couple months, not even, and he's gone. Where the hell is Zeb Coulter?
It's such a hot mess over there because even when we were off too, GFW took over the TNA name, but they're still calling it Impact Wrestling, their show, and it's even more confusion. It's like if you're fucking taking over a company, you wipe the, it's like you can't call it GFW, TNA, Impact. It's like, just come on. Now it's just too confusing with how many fucking names, how many titles. Did they even like combine the titles yet? I don't even know what's happening over there. I tried recording it twice and it started interfering with another show I wanted on my DVR, so I canceled TNA and I didn't even watch it. I was like, I had to choose. Do I want to watch this?
He canceled TNA for Housewives of Detroit or whatever the fuck it is.
Probably get more entertainment off of that one.
I had to choose.
Yeah,
I had to choose.
Too.
Well, okay, so little things though, like Awoken Hardy, still testing the waters on that. They won't do anything broken. They can't do anything broken. They started using the Awoken, but still, they're still the Hardy Boys. That whole thing fell through with the Revival, so that they're kind of like in limbo right now. They're stuck with that. But another little thing that we have to jump into is Enzo Amore. After this whole little shabacle with SummerSlam and on Raw, the fucking dude joins 205 Live on Tuesday. good idea, bad idea. I think he said he was 206 pounds, and then he took a dump, and now he's 205. I think he wrote on Twitter. I swear to God, look it up on Twitter. He said that he took a dump, and now he's 205 pounds. And
Oh, God.
I mean, I love him on the mic. I think he's great on the mic. I don't think he's that bad of a wrestler, but I don't think he's the type of 205 wrestler, if you will. I mean, whose idea was this, and what do you guys expect out of this?
This is a demotion. This is a big fuck you to Enzo Amore for allegedly running your mouth, being disrespectful to the business. They're not going to fire him because he probably helps them make money hand over fist in terms of merchandise. And let's be honest, in the land of the giants that you got on Raw, how believable is it that he actually beats anybody other than that? I can't even see him beating Curtis Axel or somebody from the Miz Taraj. It just wouldn't be believable to me. Like, I could see him doing jobs to Bo Dallas for the goof. This is the thing I want to say. Over the summer, I've been very casual with my wrestling. 205 Live used to be my favorite show when I was heavily into watching it. Now it's like I can't. There's nobody on that show. So maybe it's a way to keep people interested in that show, because who's even left? You had a little bit of, a rise with the Austin Aries and Neville angle. Tozawa, all right. Where do you go from there? The only person you got left is your boy from Ring of Honor over there. Oh, black dude. What's his name?
Leo Rush.
Alexander.
Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, Leo Rush was just signed to by WWE, so I'm sure he'll make his way over there.
It's true. I mean, they got to restock the shelves. That division is over a year, and we've had no new additions to that roster since the tournament.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a new name outside from the tournament on 205 Live.
And you know what's crazy? Everybody that was in that tournament,
except for Aries.
Aries wasn't in the tournament, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, gotcha.
The only people who have been on that roster were on the tournament, with the exception of Aries.
The exception of Aries and the exception of Neville, but he's the champ. Everybody that was on that roster, you're right there. They brought in Enzo, and I could see on paper why, because everybody hates him in the backstage. So on paper, they were like, well, he can help revamp 205 Live, like you said. Mm-hmm. Will it work? Enzo's not the greatest guy in the ring. He's just not. No, and I'm a little nervous with him being in there with all these guys that are high flyers.
Maybe they just put him in there just to kill him off because they know he's going to fucking get injured again and something's going to fucking happen. They're like, I don't know. They have to be real.
Did you see him taking a kick from Tozawa or a red arrow from fucking Neville? Or God forbid he gets in a match with Cedric Alexander. I think he's I think Drew Gulak might kill Enzo Amore and just stretch him. Like, I really feel that way. I think it's like there's 1,000 different ways that we can punish you in 205 Live, because every competitor down there, you do have to say, pretty much has a different style. Just put him in the ring with TJ Perkins. I don't think he'll survive.
I'll tell you this, though. Since 205 Live started, and guys, I wanted the Cruiserweights to come back for so long. I haven't watched a fucking 205 Live episode since it probably started. I just watch them on Raw. And now, does it just need to be Raw exclusive? Couldn't they branch it out to just like have a match on SmackDown every week, a match on Raw, and then still keep their own show or something like that? But it shouldn't. I don't think it should be Raw exclusive. But the whole Enzo Amore situation, for me, who hasn't even watched the episode, just because there's so much fucking wrestling in a week, I don't, unless something I see that's tuning into like a championship match or something that, something that's. Long story short, Enzo Amore is going to make me tune in just to see what they're going to do with him, whether he fucking gets killed or wins. For me, I haven't watched an episode. That right there is going to make me watch it, and I don't know, maybe that will do it for hundreds of other people, hundreds of thousands of other people, but, that right there, I'm just curious. Not because I think it's going to be a great match, but maybe part of me thinks it might be a train wreck, and I just kind of want to watch that. And maybe they have that same, ideology.
That's an interesting point, and I like that point, Credo, a lot. Just for the simple fact that NXT and 205 Live do have something in common where, to me, and I've noticed this a lot lately, they'll have something to draw you in to watch, but that's not the thing that's probably the best thing on the card. A lot of times, the undercard match or the match that's in the middle on 205 Live actually steals the show. Like an example on NXT, Aleister Black and Kyle O'Reilly, that wasn't the main event, but it was an incredible match and the match of the show. So, I mean, if you have something to draw the fans to watch it, I can see, another match hooking somebody and making them want to tune into that product on a more regular basis. So that's a pretty good point.
And, what's to say, too, granted, okay, yeah, he's on 205 Live, but could this be where they have, like, an exit clause for some people? Okay, Enzo joined 205 Live for a few weeks, and he fucking didn't win, and now he went back to the main roster to where, okay, well, if he can go back, well, can't we just get Neville to go back to the main roster after that whole thing is done? Or can, they don't really have an exit clause for some of these guys, because is it 205 for life, or does there come the time to where, okay, well, we're not going to really use you in there anymore, but maybe we could use you here now, and you're not really known as a cruiserweight anymore. But I don't know. It's just one of those things to where that's going to make me tune in just to see. Like I said, I don't think it's going to be the greatest thing in the world, but I'm curious. It's got my curiosity piqued.
Fuck Enzo Amore. He's a midget motherfucker. He has his head and his shoes on his license photo. How the fuck he do that?
Well, guys, we've been out for a few months. I think the last big thing I want to talk about is the biggest thing happening this weekend, and that's Mayweather versus McGregor. Boxer meets UFC fighter. Before I get your opinions, who's going to win, guys, I want to see McGregor win. I want to see him beat Floyd Money Mayweather. I don't know. If you're going to pick like a heel and a face in this, I want to see fucking McGregor win. I don't care about Mayweather. I know he's a boxer, but fucking McGregor's a fighter too, and yes, I know there's reasons why he could outlast him or this and that, but at the end of the day, man, my money I'm putting on McGregor. I want to see him win. I just want to see him win. Yes, I'm not looking at it maybe scientifically or, whatever, but at the end of the day, I want to see that motherfucker, that shit talker, fucking beat Mayweather, and I want to see that happen. That's like at WrestleMania. You want to see the champion to win. Like, I wanted to see Warrior beat Hogan, and that happened. This is what I want to see happen, guys. You guys are the bigger MMA guys than me, but I know this isn't an MMA match. It's a boxing match, and they're using lighter gloves, 2 ounces less than what they normally use, but honest opinions, guys. Who do you think's walking out the winner this weekend, Mayweather or McGregor?
I'll go first because, Mike, you're probably the better talker. There's a couple of things that I find interesting. And maybe you might agree with this. The one thing I haven't heard anybody talk about is the fact that boxing rounds are 3 minutes. In MMA, they're 5. And you're talking about McGregor not being able to go the distance against somebody like McGregor. A championship fight in mixed martial arts, 25 minutes. That's not the 36 minutes that he'll have to fight in boxing, but those rounds are longer. That's, to me, if you're able to go that extra 2 minutes without that, mid-round break, I mean, I don't know. Do you think that makes a difference at all, Mike?
Yeah, when it comes, people are talking about the cardio and all that stuff, but a lot of people don't understand it. You mentioned 5-minute rounds. Okay, it's not just championship matches. It's any match, any
main
fight
event.
That's a main event.
Right.
And Conor has done 5-minute rounds.
Yes.
Okay? He has. And granted, I've been in the MMA world, and I've been in a boxing ring with guys who have more boxing experience than I do. And yes, I have gotten my ass whooped in a boxing ring sparring with legit boxers. And that because it's a different world than what I came from. Conor, he is jumping into the Shark Tank with Floyd Money Mayweather. Everyone's questioning, is he going to last 12 rounds? Yeah, he's going to last 12 rounds. He came from the MMA world. We have the craziest and the hardest strength conditioning programs we go through. Not to mention, when you're in an MMA fight, you're not just boxing, you're grappling. When you get to the ground, that's a whole nother ball game when it comes to cardio. You can have the best cardio in the world, but if you ain't got wrestling and grappling cardio, you are going to gas very quickly. So yeah, his cardio is great. People are going nuts over his open workouts with the weird, awkward stuff that he does, his movements. But this isn't new to people like you and I, Cooter. This is Conor McGregor. He has a movement coach. We've all known this. I mean, Nate Diaz made fun of him about him and his movement coach. And that
True.
It helps him. It helps him all the time. The boxing community has never seen shit like this before. So they're just ripping him apart.
Well, guys,
Don't get me started, Paulie Malignaggi.
Well, guys, I got to talk about this because this is the elephant in the room for me, is that the age difference. Conor McGregor, 29 years old. Mayweather, 40 years old. Yes, I know there's guys that are in incredible shape at 40, but still, that's just under 11-year difference, right? I mean, is that a big factor too, age-wise?
For Floyd?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think
And
a
I'm gonna tell you
40-year-old versus a 29-year-old?
No, and I'll tell you why. Here's the one thing that we can always say about Floyd Mayweather. This is something he's preached from the beginning of his career. It's something his father had always said to him. The people who last in this business are the people who don't get hit. That's why he's the greatest defensive boxer probably ever in the sport. That's not an opinion. That's just a fact. The guy has been known to run stick and move, 12 straight rounds and win on decisions. Because, I mean, the last time he knocked somebody out was Ortiz, and I think that was, 10 years ago? Maybe more?
No, that was 2012, and that was a questionable knockout too, man.
Well, but I'm saying, okay, fair enough. But you know what I'm saying in terms of that. I mean, the guy he has been a boxer professionally for 21 years and still performs at a higher level. I mean, there are guys who have careers half that long and don't perform nearly as well at the end of half of that career.
Not at all. Listen, at the end of the day, I mean, I've been on the coattails of this since it was announced. I've been a huge fan of this. I followed every press conference. Every press conference had a pro wrestling feel to it, especially when they were in Toronto. You had the crazy hardcore Toronto fans, which always make the show 10 times better. I love the story of an underdog. I always loved that story. That's why I love Rocky. I think Rocky's a great movie because it's a story about an underdog. I would love to see Conor McGregor win this fight simply because I would love the boxing community to just shut up. I mean, and granted, I respect boxing. I love boxing. I've boxed. I love the boxing community. But they're so butthurt that a guy like Conor McGregor talked his way into this fight. I want them to shut up. However, let's look at reality here. I don't see McGregor making it past round 6. I don't. Because Mayweather is really going to run him down and frustrate the hell out of McGregor to a point where McGregor is just going to fall right into Mayweather's game plan. And I don't see it happening. I really don't.
Is there a great white hype behind this whole match to where, they're saying it's going to be this big fight, but when they actually go out there, they're actually going at like 50%? Or do you think these guys are going to really fucking fight? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to go out there, and go 12 rounds, or are they going to go out there and just try to fucking really knock each other out? I feel like does the higher they go, the longer they go, the more money they get, kind of a thing, Or
no, they're going to get a specific payday regardless. I think at the end of the day, this fight goes as long as Mayweather wants to let it go. Now, granted, if I was Mayweather, okay,
I don't know.
I think the fight goes as long as whenever Mayweather wants to go. However, if I was Mayweather if I was in this predicament and this is a huge money fight and I didn't have if I had any losses on my record or had anything, I would throw the fight because you know how much money you'll make in the rematch? You'll double what you're making now. You will double that because people want to know if this is a fluke or not.
There's a lot of bets going on too. There's a lot of bets.
I'm going to say this. I think both of them have to take this fight very seriously because Conor McGregor's only chance of winning is going after him and really going after him early and actually getting to him, which is way easier said than done. So Mayweather's got to be in his top condition just to deal with that because let's be honest, McGregor's no slouch, but this is Floyd Mayweather. He's going to be able to do what he does best, and that's just evade. So they both have to be in the top, I want to say top condition, just because of the way that McGregor has to fight this fight just to have a chance at winning.
Wow. Well, guys, I mean, I can't wait. It's definitely going to be a great big fight. I hope this opens the door more to more crossovers. I hope I want to see like maybe somebody else box like from the wrestling world or a real fight. You know what I mean? I know we've seen Brock go back and forth to UFC, but I hope it opens
Did you guys
doors.
see the money belt?
I haven't seen the money
Did you guys
belt.
see the belt that they're fighting for?
No.
This thing is a legit money belt.
Get out of here! I haven't seen this. Wait a minute.
Look it up. It has 32,000 stones in it. It's legit gold. They're fighting for the legit money belt, and I'm not talking about the $1 million belt. Although this
imagine that.
Although in
WBC
reality,
money belts. Wow.
well, in reality, this belt was cost them $1 million. Close. It's ridiculous.
The money belt WBC. Oh my God! Well, it just looks like a WBC belt.
But it's made with read the facts about the
it's
belt.
got some gems. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
that's nice. That's wow.
And if Floyd wins that belt and he gets in tax problems again, I could see him. I could see him on Pawn Stars with that belt.
Oh man. Well, guys,
Who the f- is this guy?
Guys, it's great to be back. It's great to be talking about these things again. I know we didn't cover everything that we missed. There's a lot more stuff to come. This is like a little summer recap show. We'll be back soon. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not next week. But we'll be back very shortly in full swing with the show, guys. I mean, this is what we do. I think the only thing that went missing in action this whole year so far is probably the damn UK show, which they still haven't gotten off the ground. But we'll have to find out what happens with that in the days to come. Once again, anotherwrestlingpodcast.com. Head on over there. Follow us. If you want to talk to us, you want to get on the show, call the hotline. It still exists, believe it or not. 802-297-7672. That's 802-AWP-7672. Facebook, Another Wrestling Podcast. We're still on Twitter, at A Wrestling POD. Instagram, Another Wrestling Podcast. That's how you can find us, guys.
Why'd you guys take the summer off anyway?
You know, it was summertime. We had shit to do. We all had busy schedules. The fucking world doesn't revolve around you, Ma.
Yeah, let me guess. Without someone's cloud being hacked, you and Mike didn't have any material for Credo's fucking show.
Fuck you.
Watch your fucking mouth.
Hey.